power of predictive analytics and automated marketing to ensure your ads are seen by the homeowner most likely to list this year. We deliver proven campaigns multiple times in multiple places, including Facebook, Google, email, direct mail, and more. It's not enough just to know who is thinking of selling. It's critical to deliver the right message at the right time. Each month, we process over 1 billion pieces of data to predict which homes in your territory are most likely to sell. SmartApps automates the delivery of proven lead capture campaigns to homeowners who we identified with our algorithm to ensure the best possible use of your marketing dollar. There's no reason to waste your valuable time and money on the 95% of homeowners who are not selling this year. Say goodbye to the way things were done in the past and say hello to SmartApps.
Hey, welcome everybody to Mega Camp 2020. I can't believe we finally made it here. Thank you so much for joining us for Zero In on Your Lead Source Zone. My name is Kent Temple. I'm an operating partner of 2 market centers in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. I'm part of Keller Williams University Master Faculty. And along with my wife, Pam, we have the Temple team in the Lake Norman area of North Carolina. And I have to say my favorite part of being Master Faculty is getting to spend time with some really, really talented people who are going to make me look really smart over the next 45 minutes. So today I have with me Tyler Shields, Darnell Aponte, and Seychelle Van Poel, who are going to help me go through this with you. And I want to just get an introduction from everybody on here. Guys, tell us, who you are, where you are, how long you've been in business, how long you've been in real estate, but most importantly, tell us a little bit about you, your team, your business, and what your production level is. And Seychelle, we'll start with you.
Sure. Hello, everybody. We are so glad you are joining us here today. My name is Seychelle Van Poel, and I have the distinct privilege of being one of the co-founders of Van Poel Properties Group. Barbara Van Poel is my business partner and also my mom. And we have a team out of Dallas-Fort Worth and Austin, Texas. And last year we did 97,246 home sales. And we've been with Keller Williams, September this year will be year 19 for us. So we've been in Keller Williams a long time. And I remember my first event I came to in 2004 when I joined our team was a mega camp. And there was one ballroom in the Hyatt Hotel in Austin, Texas, and about 300 people there. So it's pretty cool that we have this amazing attendance that we have this year to see how far we've come. And one of the things that I love about our company is that we're willing to share and give back. And so, Darnell and Tyler and I look to give you implementable ideas directly into your business today that you can take and plug right in. And I think we all three have very different approaches on how we take our business. So it's going to be really cool because no matter how you do lead generation and zone in on that, I think you're going to find some value today.
So I know that you are slightly competitive. We're 9 months into 2020. Do you still lay awake at night thinking, 97 million, how did I not hit 100 million?
Oh, hey, thanks, Kent. Real cool for bringing that up. I really appreciate you for that one. No, it does. We pushed so hard, and we were sitting at about 93 million, and we were able to push it to 97, but golly, we would have given anything to get it to 100. And the other thing I didn't mention is we're also co-hosts of the Empire Building podcast KW put out this year.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to February 2021 so I can hear about what you did this year.
That's right.
Tyler, give us an intro.
Yes. Yeah, Tyler Shields here. I run Relevate. We're an expansion team that we are hubbed in Littleton, Colorado, in the Denver area. And then we have another expansion in Tempe, Arizona. I got my Colorado real estate license in September of 2015. So it'll be 5 years right now. So last year we did 273 sides for just over 2.5 million in gross revenue. We did just eclipse the 100 million in volume mark, I will say, Seychelle.
Thanks for rubbing that in.
Yeah, you're
awesome.
welcome.
I appreciate you.
What I've been trying to tell everyone this year, what we're more excited about is this year we're pacing $1 million in profit for the first time. And so getting on model, following MREA, and excited about that. So yeah, that's who we are. I run a team, and I have 2 other business partners that run the team with me. And so we are passionate about moving quickly, about auditing our numbers, about knowing what's going on and shifting fast if we need to move fast. And so my coach tells me that our superpower is fluidity and fast implementation. And so I think that's what has helped us this year to not just survive, but continue to thrive. And excited to share those strategies with you guys.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for not saying that it was 0 to 100 million in 5 years, because that would have been rubbing it in. So I'm glad you did not point that out. That was very
sure.
nice.
Yeah.
Darnell, tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Darnell Ponte. I'm just grateful. I have a lot of gratitude for being here. I am a single agent. I work in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Boca Raton. I cover the entire area. Last year, I did 36 units for about 7.2 million. And this year, at the halfway point, I was at 7.3 million and 38 transactions. So I've already doubled my production just because I went to Mega Camp last year. Actually, I started using the models. Believe it or not, I stopped trying to reinvent the wheel. I listened to Gary. Went to Mega Camp for the first time this year in 2020, and I just do everything by the models now. I've really taken advantage of what happened with the pandemic, and I've pivoted and I've changed my business. I used to be heavy open house business, but now I'm really leveraging Facebook. So this year I'm on pace to do 55 transactions and about 14 million in volume.
Darnell, that's awesome.
You know, I do not know Darnell. This is our first time together. And just to tell you what kind of guy he is, though, when we got this invitation to do this, we all received it, me to facilitate. And the first person to respond was Darnell. And he said, "Thank you so much. But I just researched everybody, and I don't think I belong on this panel." No, this is the honest truth. And Darnell, I got to tell you this. You know, my team sold 156 houses last year, and I didn't sell any of them, dude. So you sold way more than I did, and way more than I ever did in 1 year by myself. So thank you for being on here with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
So, well, since Darnell's got the stage, I'm gonna throw the first question out to him. And obviously, we spend a lot of time in our sphere, obviously. But besides your sphere, unless you want to talk about that, what is your most successful lead resource to date, and how did you come across it?
So up until March, my biggest source of business was open houses. I loved open houses. I even taught an open house class because that's how passionate I was about open houses and not having to spend money. You know, I've tried the Zillow, I've tried the Expireds and FSBOs, and it just wasn't for me. And someone told me to lead generate where you love. And I'm like, I love Facebook. I love being social and interacting with people. I took a class in January right before Mega Family Reunion with Tony Giordano. Mm-hmm. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who he is, the social agent.
Great guy.
Did an event for KWYP, which I'm a member of. I'm on leadership for the South Florida chapter. And so I implemented some of his things, and I did some group coaching with him. And I just really liked Tony's story and how he started in real estate after being in mortgage business and excelled just by being a social agent. So majority of my business in the past 7 months and how I was able to literally double my business in such a short period of time was Facebook. People need to like you. So I started being more intentional with my post on Facebook. So I started something last year called Darnell Eats. So I love food, I love fine dining, I love cooking, especially when I'm not working in real estate. And I've created a pretty interesting following. It's funny, actually, because just today alone, I've had a few people tag me in posts or their own posts. And Darnell, do you approve? And it's great. And they post Darnell Eats, or today was Sunshine. Sunshine also cooks. Hashtag Sunshine Cooks. And it's just really helped my business because I don't have to throw real estate down their face all the time. They know I'm in real estate. They see what I do. I do post real estate related stuff. I like to do Facebook Lives almost every day. At least once a week, I play a game on Facebook Live called Guess the Price, and I get so much engagement from that alone. And literally just being me on Facebook, because you don't really need to sell. My goal is to create relationships with people. They see that I do real estate. They send me messages when they need help or they know someone that needs help. So yes, our goal is to be salespeople and sell, but my goal is just to, engage with my audience, build relationships, and the business will follow naturally if you do those things.
So Darnell, I first off, me and you are going to be best friends because I like to eat, man. I'm coming to see you. But I like the fact that you shifted with the market. Now, for me, open houses, we had to shift away from them because our days on market are almost zero here. We don't even have time to do open houses. Was that a factor in your decision?
I mean, our days on market are pretty quick here too. I mean, we have a pretty hot market here in South Florida well before the pandemic. But I strategically did my open houses. Part of my open house class, I like to market them for 7 to 10 days prior to doing showings in an open house. And that's typically my strategy and how I get my listing sold in a week. I usually just do one open house. I have everyone come in, and it creates a sense of urgency because all the other guests see the line of people that are waiting to get in your open house. And majority of my listings sell the first day I allow open houses because of that strategy that I use. I just hold off. So I really love it for lead generating. I'm awesome at converting open house leads. I think I have to do too because I was a loan officer before I was in real estate. So I really know the questions to ask and how to guide my buyers because, the loan officers just give them pre-approval and say, come back when you're under contract. So open houses was a huge source of business for me.
Darnell, I know inquiring minds want to know, what's your secret sauce for converting the open house leads?
I was really great at that before, but I took a class, I don't remember if it was Mega Camp or Family Reunion with Chris Suarez, and that changed a lot of things. It's just all in how you ask the questions. We're not asking the right questions or enough questions at these open houses. That's the difference between myself and the average agent. Is I ask questions. I always try to dig at least 3 deep. I make sure I get their contact information on the sign-in pad, and I also take it manually while I'm building a rapport with them while they're walking around the house. And that's a completely different class I do. That's about an hour and a half long on my secret sauce. So I'm happy to send you my materials on that, Seychelle.
That's awesome. Thank you, Darnell. So,
that'd be great.
Seychelle's trying to steal my job here and ask great questions. So I'm going to let her go next so that she gets to talk. So Seychelle, what about you? What's your most successful?
I know other people listening are going to want to know, Kent. I mean, come on. That's what they want to know. So outside a database, something that we really discovered is we did the book Strength Finders as a group and as our whole team. And we read 6 books a year. And one of the ones we did was Strength Finders. And I think that if you're looking to zone in on your lead generation source, getting in touch with your strengths and finding out what you love and using that as kind of your superpower, as Tyler put it, it really becomes something that you enjoy every day. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we hear agents say all the time, I don't like the lead generation. I don't like having to hunt for business. That's not fun for me. And what I would challenge you to think about is maybe you just haven't found the type of lead generation or lead source that really actually feels effortless for you and is enjoyable and is something you wake up every day being great at. And so for us, we tend to hire people that have a servant heart and are motivated and fast-paced and want to learn and want to engage with people. They have to love working with people. And that means that outside of our database, if you look at our other sources, it's agent-to-agent referrals, and it's working with and through local business entrepreneurs and builders. And so when you look at that, that's all a very highly relational business. It's just broken up into different categories. And we found a big source of engaging with that is we taught the class at Family Reunion called Blessed Not Stressed, how to create your social media strategy and how you can systematically build your social media in order to get you more business. But the other part about that too is we give back a lot with teaching. And we believe that when you come from contribution, whether it's when you're on a vacation, which those feel like a distant past these days. But when we were able to travel more, anytime we would take a vacation, I would always make sure any city we would go through, I would stop and teach a class. Or these days I teach a lot over Zoom, but we really are very intentional about giving back and helping others come from contribution, because we believe that when you put enough out there, enough comes back. And so 23% of our business every year is just agent to agent referrals on top of our database. And the other thing that we've found out to systemize that, which has been really fun and something that we've automated with it, is you guys know kind of like the box subscriptions, right? I feel like everybody has had one these days now, whether it's a Bark Box for your dog or Stitch Fix, which is kind of the original subscription, or, I mean, you list it, right? There's like the Man Crate, I don't know, all these different options out there. And I would watch my coworkers like get one of these boxes in, and when we were still in the office, and it would be like show and tell. It was like, oh my gosh, look at what I got, and they would model it all out, and it really was like this delight and surprise experience. And I thought, my goodness, we want to give this white glove service to our clients. What could we do that could remind people that already know, like, and trust us to maybe, instead of send us one referral a year, send us 2 or 3 or 4? And so we came up with a quarterly box gift that we send out to our clients, and we've been doing it now. We're on our 3rd year, and it's all around reminding them to send us referrals, right? If they already know, like, and trust us, it's so much easier to get them to do that repeated behavior more. And it's been a lot of fun because we get to go to local business owners and purchase inventory in their off times to help supplement them when they're maybe in their slower season. And we started it with, I think it was like 75 referrals we'd received that year, and now it's grown to, we have, I think, about 225 that we send out a quarter, and growing from there. But it's all about rewarding the behavior you want to see. And so for us, lead generation is about rewarding the behavior we want to see. And that is send us referrals, right?
I love that. All right, Tyler, $100 million man.
Yeah. Hey, so you nailed it on your question to Darnell. Like, I think every healthy real estate business should have Sphere as a top pillar. But as I audit kind of really where do we spend time and attention, what are we known for, the answer for us is online leads. And I think that stems from the fact that I actually worked for and sold leads for Zillow before I got into real estate.
Very cool.
And so it's not that I'm advocating to go buy Zillow leads, but it's before I was even a real estate agent, it was ingrained in me the idea of spending money to get a return on investment, to follow a system, to convert a lead or a registration, or spending money online to get content information to turn that into sales and reinvesting that money into more dollars spent. And so all I knew in real estate when I started in real estate in 2015 was I should spend some money marketing online, and when I make money, I should reinvest it. And so that's what we did. And over time, we've moved, I think the timeline or the spectrum of online leads and maybe any lead generation is you want to move towards higher ROI, higher return on investment, and more control. You have more control. So the lowest end of the spectrum control is buying a Zillow lead, and the lowest ROI. Like, it's going to be the lowest return on your investment, and you have zero control. They could change the price tomorrow or decide to stop giving you leads. And if you're building your business on that, it could all go away tomorrow. So you got to chase higher control and higher ROI. And so as time has gone, we've done more Facebook, Google AdWords leads. And then that shifted this year when the pandemic hit to testing campaigns and running the Facebook ads through Command and through campaigns. And, we've generated almost 5,000 leads year to date through Command. So that's kind of how we've shifted online. We love tracking our numbers. My other business partner is a former auditor from a corporate bank. So he lives and breathes like tracking numbers and looking at everything. And so that works really well for us from an online lead perspective.
Yeah, Tyler, we're gonna come back to some of the stuff that you talked about in a little while. I just think it's important to point out to our audience right now that you've got 3 highly successful people on here, and none of them gave you the same answer. None of them have the same source. And when you look at the research that they're doing for the Millionaire Real Estate Agent revised edition that's going to be coming out, top agents, they say 80 to 90% of their business come from 3 to 5 lead gen sources. You don't have to try to do anything. That's why we're talking about zeroing in on this. So, all right, Seychelle, let's talk about this. When you're looking for a great lead gen resource, what do you need to know and what do you need to do first to make sure it will be effective?
If I could go back and start day one all over again, I would make sure that I'm utilizing a CRM like Command to capture every single possible human being that I'm coming into contact with. And whether it is, as Darnell put it beautifully with open houses, or Tyler put with Internet Lead Gen, or we do through database and Sphere, like through people that we know in networking, making sure every single person gets in and gets on a drip campaign or a smart drip plan immediately. Would be something that I wish I could go back and do, right? Like our CRM we used was one that's still around today, but we were using, you were on like floppy disks loading those things in, we've been around a while. And so it's embarrassing to admit that, but right, like if we could go back and do it again, I wish that we had the technology that we have available today there. And I think the second thing of that then is understanding that if you really want to explode your business, committing your time in the morning to lead generation and having a coach and an accountability partner to do that. Like for us, we have script practice that starts at 8:30 in the morning from 8:30 to 9 o'clock starts lead gen, right? 10:30 is our huddle after our lead generation, circling back to see how you did, what did you do, reporting your numbers. And like on our team meeting today, one of our agents said, gosh, I've been on another team and coming onto yours. I'm really appreciative for the accountability and focus that you put on numbers and tracking, whether it's lead generation or your pipeline, because that's making me pay attention to my business, which is making my pocketbook get more full. And I think when you can put focus with a great coach or a great accountability partner along with a great CRM and Smart Drip, you're going to be set for success no matter what you do.
So you're saying if you could go back 19 years ago and have the technology that we had, I'm just wondering quickly, would your mom give the same answer that you just gave?
I think she would. I think the other piece she'd probably add to that is hire great people.
Yeah. Awesome. Tyler.
Yep.
How about you? What do you need to know? What do you need to do before you pick this great source?
Yeah, well, I think it's ironic. Darnell and Seychelle both hinted at this. You have to know yourself. You have to understand that there are literally dozens of ways for you to make six figures in real estate. And that doesn't mean you have to do it a given way. And so I read a book a while back called Kazon, which is the Hebrew word for purpose. And so the book is all about finding your life purpose. But I think that the same principles apply to finding your lead source zone. And it says that your zone that you need to find is the mixture of your strengths, your passions, and your past experiences. So if you think about those three things about yourself, your strengths, what you're good at, your passions, what you're passionate about, or maybe even more fairly put, what drives you crazy? Because what drives you crazy is probably where you can identify your passion more. And then your past experiences, I worked for Zillow, so it makes sense that online leads could be part of that, right? So you audit those three things, and what you find is a concentric circle where they all three overlap, and that's that special zone of something that makes sense. And I really, really believe, I'm telling on myself a little bit, but I'm not one of those people that just was always a hard worker. Like before I started my real estate business, I viewed myself as lazy. I viewed myself as someone that was trying to put in the 5 hours. I used to work a government job, and I promise you, I worked probably 5 hours a week, even though I was paid 40. But what I'm saying is when you find your passion, when you find something that's the mixture of your strengths, your passions, and your past experiences, you unlock hard work. You end up working hard and not realizing it because you love it.
Doesn't feel like work. Yeah, totally. It doesn't feel like, the passion oozes out of you. I can never imagine you doing something you aren't passionate about.
When I started my business, people were like, man, is it hard for you to work so much? It's like, no, my work is my hobby because I love it. Mm-hmm. And so you have to pause yourself sometimes because you love it so much. And so I think it seems like a cop-out, but it's true. You need to know yourself. You need to know who you are. And as you listen to Seychelle talking about her strengths and Darnell talking about his strengths and everyone else at Mega Camp talking about their strengths, make a list of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different things, and then just figure out what's resonating with you the most in terms of your strengths, passions, past experiences. That's how you're going to be effective, is if you like it. If you want to show up, you're going to be effective at it.
All right. Awesome. Darnell, how about you?
Tyler and Seychelle pretty much answered it already. You really need to figure out what you love. And I keep saying it because it resonates with me. Lead generate where you love. I love being social, and it's no easier place to do that than Facebook. Not so big on Instagram. Facebook it's going to be my source. But it's really simple. It's a really simple formula. Literally, this past 2020 has been great for my business because I pivoted earlier on in the year, and the pandemic forced me to pivot very quickly and just change my business. And I wish I had realized this sooner. I just started coaching with my team leader actually 2 weeks ago because I'm that agent that just wakes up every day, that didn't have a schedule and still capped and was still a top producer. So now that I'm actually putting systems in place and really looking at my numbers and seeing where my business is coming from, I mean, it's been a piece of cake, honestly. I just stopped trying to reinvent the wheel. That's really it. The first 3 years, I just tried to do it on my own. I felt like I was a genius. I've owned businesses before. I don't need to read the red book. And once I did, and I came to these events, it's changed my life. It's incredible. So just figure out what it is that you like and stick with it. I told my team leader actually that I'm going to start calling FSBOs and expireds 2 weeks ago at our first session. It's like, why? What you're doing now is working. Keep on doing more of that. Just figure out what it is that you love. It's really simple. I feel like as agents, we tend to overthink things and just think that, the scripts and what they're teaching us don't work and they sound silly. Just do it in whatever form you like, and there's no way you're not going to be successful.
I love how the food guy managed to get in. It's a piece of cake. I like that. That was.
You see what I did there?
That's really good.
So when I was looking at these questions, there was just no doubt in my mind that I wanted Tyler to lead this next question because I just know that he is a models and systems guy. He's running this like a business. So Tyler, what systems and models are you doing to make sure you're holding your lead gen accountable, that you're getting the ROI that you want to get?
Yeah, well, so I think it'd be more fair to say that I got in business with someone who's a systems and models person, and that was the smartest thing I did, was aligning myself with someone who cares about systems and models, and he pushes me in that regard. So that's my partner, Andrew Schultz. But yeah, so they say the best way to accomplish a goal is to write it down. Put it someplace where you can see it every single day and just remind yourself every single day about what you're looking at. I mean, the first idea of MREA, like the first system and model, is track your numbers. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever tried the diet of simply write down all the calories you consume every day. You will automatically lose weight if you just track how many calories you're eating every day. And so that's the same idea with real estate. If you just keep track of everything, then you'll automatically hold yourself accountable because you know what's happening. And so basically the first step is what we use, Keller Williams Systems and Models. I so resonate with what Darnell said. Like, I spent a couple years thinking I was smarter and then decided to get back on models. So you use a 1-3-5. It tells you your one goal for your year, your 3 major strategies to accomplish the goal, and your 5 priorities under each strategy. And then you use a 4-1-1, where you break that your yearly goal down into a monthly goal, down into a weekly goal. And so every single week we know what we need to accomplish that week. And then every week I run those numbers. How many leads came in? How many appointments did we go on? How many conversations did we have? And then I will look at that and we talk about it every single week as owners to figure out, are we on track or are we not? And so I have 4-1-1s with our ISA that's calling the leads. I have a weekly meeting with the person that's helping generate the leads, and then the owners. So I have 3 or 4 different accountability points every week to check in on those numbers, make sure they're working. And so as simplest, easy strategy is I'm aware of what my goal is and whether I'm hitting it or not, so that I know I need to adjust if I'm not on track. So
I would, if Gary was here right now, he would give you a high five. I mean, you got the red book, the 4-1-1, the 1-3-5, you hit them all. You hit them all in there. Darnell, how about you?
That's something I've been lacking, honestly. Like I said, I've been the agent that just wakes up with no schedule. And the past 2 weeks, my team leader has been helping hold me accountable. And being on the ALC of my market center, we have to display our 4 conversations on our door. So the past few months, that's been great also. My 401's on, or my 4 conversations is on the door of my office, and before I can ask a team leader or the OP a question, they ask me a question. What are your goals for the month, and where are you at now? So that's helped keep me accountable, and I'm looking forward to coaching with my team leader. I actually took him up on this offer. It's been about a year. I'm like, no, I don't need coaching, but I finally decided everyone needs a coach. Just follow the systems and models, Darnell. Make your life easier.
You do. Yeah, you do. And Darnell, you'll find that you'll hit ceilings in your business. And coaching can help you break through those ceilings, but also models and systems can help you break through those. So just continue to develop those. Seychelle, how about you? What models and systems are you using?
Darnell, thanks for being transparent and vulnerable about that too, because I think a lot of people are in your shoes. And I think hearing from somebody who is succeeding at a high level and working through that process is a really great thing to see. So thank you for sharing your story on that. We use the 411 and the 135 for our goal setting, very similar to how Tyler does. I think the thing I would add to that is in times of pandemics, really going from a monthly profit and loss meeting to a weekly one was something that was pivotal for us. And so in addition to knowing your numbers from a lead generation standpoint, we really moved to, at one point, a daily cash flow and P&L analysis to then a weekly and then a monthly. And our theory was, right, we have a team with people and 20 families that rely on us. And so, it really became a preserve people first, right? And then pivotal systems second, and then anything else that was absolutely not feeding our business goes.
Thank you, Seychelle. So I'm going to ask a follow-up question here, and I bet Tyler jumps all over this. What are the warning signs that you're not getting the return on investment that you need any longer?
Yeah, I think the important conversation to understand here is the difference between what we would call a lag measure and a lead measure. And what I mean by that is if you're simply tracking closings and dollars in your pocket, then you may take too long before you figured out there's an issue. So you need to understand what we call our lead measures, things that you're measuring, numbers you're measuring that indicate future potential problems or future potential profits. So when you're looking at real estate, lead measures would be things like appointments gone on or contracts signed. Those are indications of future business that are coming. So I'm looking at conversations we're having with leads, the percentage of people we're getting a hold of, the appointments that we're setting, the agreements that we're signing to figure out what business is going to look like 2 to 3 months from now. And when those things are down is when I begin to have some concern. But the other warning sign would be kind of what I mentioned up front. Audit how you're feeling. So we have an agent that joined our team. When she joined our team, she was having some success with door knocking and cold calling. She was signing agreements, she was closing deals, and she was crying on her way home every single day because she hated it. She was having success, but she hated it. And so that's one of those things where her numbers said things were fine, but internally, things said something's wrong. Right. And so for her, she's like, there's got to be an easier way to do this. And there was. And so she came and joined us and found ways that she could still have success with the numbers, but also internally feel good as well. So part of it's the numbers. Part of it's just how you're feeling. If you hate what you're doing every single day, maybe you should try something different.
So what did that adjustment look like with the agent on your team? How did that happen?
She was on a different team, and that's what she was doing on her team. She was doing those things. And so she began to believe there must be a better way than this. She wasn't sure, but she felt like there must be a better way than this. So she started having conversations with us. And as we listened to what she was doing and what she was saying, we said, listen, that's great and you are having success here, but yes, you are correct. There are other things that you could be doing where you would be having success as well. And so it started with the auditing conversation I said up front. What do you love? What are you good at? What are you excited about? And how can we center your business around those things? And so for her, she loves something similar to what Darnell said. She does a guess the price of the home every single day on Instagram, and that's her thing, and that's how she interacts with her sphere. And so she just loved the idea of, it feels like I could do this and still make money in business. And we said, yes, that's true. Let us show you how to do that. And so it was auditing her and helping to expand on something she was already enjoying and showing her how to turn that into dollars.
So Darnell, he gave us two possibilities here for you. You made a big shift in your business. So which was it? Was it that the open houses were not really working like they were before and you noticed that and you started to switch your business? Or did you decide that you just love something more like he's talking about with the agent on his team? How did that work for you?
Well, I still love open houses. I'm just a little wary of doing them now with everything going on. But it started in January when I took that class with Tony Giordano and started his group coaching. In the beginning of my career, I was an agent that advertised on Zillow. I even had a team 2 years ago without reading the models, and I was spending thousands of dollars a month on Zillow. My agents just weren't converting them. but I had a really high conversion ratio on leads. I used to own a lead generation company for for-profit colleges and universities many years ago. So I understand lead generation. I understand conversion. I love numbers. I just liked how Tony's method is, all organic, no cost, just like open houses. It just takes time. If you do it correctly, you'll get the return. So how much easier can it be than being on Facebook and being yourself and engaging with your sphere, your audience, your Mets and haven't Mets, So that is really it. That I figured that I can do it for free. It's not going to cost me any money. So it's a great ROI, and I love it.
Gotcha. So let's go back to Tyler for a second. Tyler, you mentioned Command earlier. So tell us how you're utilizing Command or any other tech that you're utilizing with your lead gen.
Yeah, so I think kind of what Darnell was getting at is another thing I could have said to your last question, which is sometimes the warning signs that something's not your zone anymore is because a better opportunity comes along. And I think that's kind of what Darnell was talking about. And so campaigns and running Facebook ads through Command was exactly that for us. So what happened, like we had been hearing for about a year about these cheap leads that people were generating through Command. And we knew, because we tracked our numbers, how much cheaper those leads were than what we were generating through our other Facebook systems. We knew that even if our conversion rate was cut in half, our ROI would triple. And so we're looking at these cost per lead numbers, but we didn't necessarily have any reason to move. Nothing was wrong with our current system. And so we didn't jump until COVID hit, and we all of a sudden needed a way to drop our expenses but deliver the same number of leads to our agents. And so the only solution I could see, short of giving our agents less leads, was campaigns. Was, okay, well, here's an opportunity for me to generate the same amount of leads for a third, a fourth, a fifth of the price. So let me go try that, right? So we jumped in and started just trying things, just started generating leads through Command. And we found that all the systems that we had built around converting Facebook leads and converting leads in other areas applied directly to what we were doing through Command. The only difference is we had complete control over the ad. We got to decide the copy and what was ran and when it was run, how much money to spend. And so we really enjoyed the benefit of using our past systems, but then generating the leads cheaper and getting a better ROI. So that's the main thing that we've used through there, just the scale that Command has in connecting with Facebook to generate the leads cheaper.
So by chance,
That's
have you told us anything about your ROI for Command? Are you finding the Facebook ads? What's it costing you?
Yeah, so year to date, we've generated leads at about a little less than $4 a lead, about $3.50 a lead, and our market and average commission is $10,000. So we've already put 3 deals under contract for $30,000 in gross commissions. But what we're even more encouraged about is more than 25% of the leads we've had two-way communication with, and we've marked them as nurturers in our CRM, meaning they've confirmed that they'll buy or sell at some point, and there's no reason why they won't work with us. So while we have the business now and already have seen a 5 to 10 times ROI, the long-term ROI should track closer to 20 times.
You said you had done 5,000 leads. So that's 1,250 leads you've statused in your system as potential future business. That's incredible.
Yep. And so as a real estate agent, our job is just, how do I stay top of mind? How do I add value? What do I do to make sure that when they're ready, I'm here, right? And those systems we already had in place. And so the more people I can just funnel into that funnel, the better. And so that's what Command has done for me, is allowed me to get to the conversation and the nurture for a lot cheaper than what I was able to do in the past.
Yeah. Awesome. Seychelle, how about you? What are you using Command or any other tech to help in this process?
Yeah, we are. We use Command for certain parts of our business. And one of the things we've really liked about it is the designs aspect of it. We started asking the question of how do we do the one-to-many in presentations? And so 25% of our business pre-COVID were relocation buyers, actually, that we were doing virtual buyer consults with and virtual home purchases with. And so when COVID came, we were like, oh my gosh, welcome to video, everybody else in the world. Because it had been a part of our business already for 25% of the previous year. And so we started doing virtual home buyer and home seller consults and using the guides and Command to be able to use those for our presentations to be able to then do the one-to-many presentations. So on average, we'll have anywhere from 10 buyers to we've had as high as 80 buyers or 10 sellers and 80 home sellers on our virtual presentations that we're doing, we're setting appointments out of them. About 25% of them raise their hand for appointments right away, and the rest of them go straight to nurtures. And so for us, to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours a week capturing, multiple clients instead of doing it one client at a time has been really effective for us. We've been able to shortcut the system by using the guides in Command in order to help us create those presentations.
Awesome. Darnell, how about you?
Command, I had a love-hate relationship with Command, like I think a lot of us have. You start playing with it and, you find an issue and, it's a little frustrating, but we have to use it, right? We have to break it so they can fix it. So the past 3 months or so, I've been very intentional with Command and just putting all of my Facebook leads on there. I always get messages. So now as soon as I interact with someone, I put them right into Command. And my favorite thing is opportunities and seeing your potential income just go up every time you add a contact and create an opportunity. So every day I make sure I add at least one quality person to Command and an opportunity. And if I haven't, I feel like I didn't work that day. I didn't do anything. So I love that aspect of it, just opportunities, and nothing satisfies me more than dragging it from one column to the next. And throughout the process, as simple as it is, it's just a great feeling just moving it along and seeing things happen. The other thing that I really love about Command is designs. I'm not really artistic or creative like that, so it really simplified things for me. So I made a template, and that helps me engage with my sphere and my audience as well as, the just solds, just listeds, and I'm super intentional when it comes to that. Because one property, you can make 3 to 4 posts, coming soon, just listed, under contract, just closed. And so those are all different points, and it shows that you're active and, gives the perception that you're much busier than you are. And if you look like you're busy, it's incredible how much more business you get. So once I started doing that as well, I noticed that my referral business from past clients, my Facebook friends, and especially other agents have gone up tremendously. A huge part of my business too is agent-to-agent referrals, but majority of that is still through Facebook, because that's where you keep the relationship. So it all goes back to Facebook. Once I realized that, I've been sitting on this gold mine for years. Now I'm utilizing it with Command and putting people on neighborhood nurtures, and I'm working with smart plans more. So I'm still implementing it, but that's what I use primarily.
That's awesome. Well, just keep in mind, perception is reality. So, all right, guys, we're running short on time. We've got just a couple of minutes left. Everybody out there listening, do me a favor. We're gonna wrap up with one final question. Please hang around and give us an eval after this so that we can continue to make these better and better. But guys, you got your last 30 seconds here. Darnell, I'm gonna start with you. What's the one thing that you want to tell everybody right now that's struggling with their lead gen? Give us one piece of advice.
Success is simple. Just follow the models. That's it. Don't overthink things.
That's a great one.
Great.
Michelle, how about you?
That was awesome. I would say time on task over time. Really, anything you pick. We always say pick it and stick with it. Just pick one thing, stick with it, and do it repeatedly. You're going to get better at it over time. Don't go shiny object syndrome. Just pick one thing, stick with it, and commit to it for at least 6 months, and it's going to become successful.
Awesome. Tyler, how about you?
Yeah, I think especially when times are tough, you need to audit your lead sources to figure out which of your lead sources are what I would call passive or reactive, and which of your lead sources are active or proactive. A lot of times we have lead sources where we just wait for the business to come in, and we do some things, but maybe it's not directly correlated to the business. We all need at least one pillar that we can theoretically pull that lever an unlimited amount of times and get an unlimited amount of return, because when times are tough, the answer is just do more of it. Right? And so it's okay to have passive. That's part of building a big business and marketing and reactive. Make sure you have at least one of your pillars that you could do an unlimited amount of time. So when times are tough, you can go to that pillar and pull it, and you just supplement with time and time on task to make up for when times are hard.
That's awesome. Guys, I just want to thank each of you for being here. To our audience out there, if you got any value out of this today, I want you to know that These people did not get paid a penny for being here. They did it out of the goodness of their heart. So you know where they are. If you have a referral in their area, hey, look them up and send them something. Guys, thank you so much. You made me look very smart
Thank
again.
you. High fives.
I love you guys.
The business of real estate